Hey, here we are again, moving on to part two. I hope you watched part one. If you did not, please go watch part one so you won't be lost here in part two. Part two is only 15 minutes, so was part one. It was a 30-minute video total. All right, enjoy. We don't need Google Earth. We can see it right here. Don't need to add anything else to it. Look at this. Look at this. Does that make any damn sense to you? And then we look. Let's take it a little further. As we look at some of these books, I'm gonna be reading out to you on some of these covers. I mean, you had African slavery here, African slavery here, African slavery here, African slavery here. So you mean to tell me that the Europeans are so great that they're going to come and colonize this land, which is smaller than this land, with a whole bunch of people who was already over here, when all of the resources, so-called, they said all of the resources are here. Why in the fuck didn't they just come down here and colonize these damn people and make this their place rather than here? Something's up. We don't know the key, but look at it. Something don't make sense. Why would you come and get this little small land right here? Yes, it's big. And go to this big ass land right here. Yes, it's big. But take the people from here to go and farm this small land over here. Why don't you just fucking take these people who are right here and beat them down and take their places right here, like you did, or like they did, especially down here. I say what they did down here in South Africa, Namibia, Angola, Zimbabwe, and other places, in the Congo, what they did here, they did the same thing here. What they did is they came here and saw some people here who was docile and dormant, and they enslaved their ass. And then, but they went really deep into this one because of they just went on to claim this. And first they claimed this little portion right up in here. And then they claimed this here portion, and then they just kept moving. It was like a firestorm. And I'll bet you a lot of the problems, the reason they was able to do it over here, because a lot of folks that look like you and I, they helped them. Yeah. That's the same shit going on to this day. Now, for me to be talking like this here and be a mixed guy, yes, I am mixed. And I'll tell you that again and again and again. But I ain't no damn fool, and I know what's real when I see real. And the shit that they told us in these books, it's not real. As I read these books that I'm presenting to you, I find more and more truth of what they didn't say. But they wrote it. They didn't mean to say it. What they didn't say was, your ass, sis, most likely came from here, into here, and all down up in here. And everything that was so-called European white was brought from here and raped into these folks, raped into these folks, and made some really different looking people. But now the people in these areas, they think that that's the way they've been their whole damn lives. But when they go back and if they do the so-called correct ancestry DNA test, which I don't think that exists. I really don't know. I did a couple of them, and I'm starting to challenge that shit. But anyway, they're going to find out all of them came from here. Now, watching UB News, that dude right there is crazy, man, but he be on point. But watching UB News and listening and watching some more of Dane Calloway, they got me really thinking. Also, this other guy, Indigenous Niji, I think it's. I have to look at his site. But anyway, checking these cats out, I'm learning from them that the oldest pyramids are in these areas. Not here. Not here. Something's weird, folks. I want to say that we were all over here. We were all over here. We were all over here. We were all over the damn world. Here, I don't know. A lot of folks try to get me to believe that. A lot of my Hebrew brothers try to get me to believe that we were in control of this area right before slavery. It don't make no damn sense. If we were in control of this area, the folks from up here and let's come up out here. Norway, was it Iceland? Yeah, you got some folks from Norway, Sweden, and Iceland. They actually don't make no sense. What does make sense is all of these folks right here. All of these folks right here, especially out here in India. Yeah, come to think of it, India's. I don't know if I'll put that on this video or not, but I got some old videos back in the 20s and the late 1800s of how Indians looked back then. Yeah, they had straight hair. Some of them. All of them were dark as hell. So if all of them was dark, and that's what Cristobal Colon, let's go back over here on Cristobal Colon again. Cristobal Colon, when they left from here and they navigated around all the way around this continent and they came back up here, then they ended up over here in India. So now they knew these people a little bit. They knew how they looked because they did these travels. And he didn't travel back. Now he goes back to Spain and all of a sudden, hey, I want to go over here and see these folks over here. He said, hey, that's a shortcut to India because these folks look like Indians. He never said they look Mongolian, like Chinese. Chinese don't look like Indians. If you put a hat or you shave the hair off on an Indian, he look like us. And a lot of them look like us when you don't do anything to them. I used to work with one. Look just like us, but she hated us. Oh my God, this Indian girl, she hated us. But she never really looked in the mirror because she looked just like me. Actually, she was darker than I am, come to think of it. Now here's something, I did find something that might be a little bit of humor for us all. Looked like the word poor white trash, it was around for a long time. Check this out. It says, hence, the Virginia yeoman had but the alternative of migrating westward. The yeoman, they were like, if you read up here a little bit, I'm going to scroll up this here and kind of take a look and you can kind of pause it and kind of get an idea what the yeoman were. Come on down slowly. I hope you can read that. If not, try to work something. Anyway, the yeomen, they were very, very poor and uneducated, basically. It says, hence the Virginian yeoman had but the alternative of migrating westward. They had to go westward. Or becoming a poor white trash, despised even by the slaves. That's crazy. Even the slaves hated these people. And that'll give you an understanding of why, because of even today, who hates you more than anybody else? The people, the so-called white people that have no money. Those are the ones that hate you more than anybody else. Look at Trump supporters. For the most part, Trump supporters are PWT. I didn't create the name. It's written in this damn book. Don't be calling me racist. Poor white trash. It's right there, over 200 years ago. Oh, boy, that's crazy. Woo, my goodness, poor white trash. Ain't that so? Anyway, let's continue to march. Right here. Now let's start looking up some more at how many of us was here. It's phenomenal, these books. And when you listen to what they're not trying to tell you in these books, you pick up so much. Let's say this again. In the lowlands, the slaves outnumbered the white. Now, who in the hell you think are going to try to oppress somebody from some other country and you bring more of them in than you? No, motherfuckers. They found some people here who were kind of dormant and docile, who were already here on the land. And since they learned that they were dormant and docile, I told you, man, what we did is we let our kindness become a weakness. And that's what happened to us. We're already here. This book is telling you. Listen to what the book is not telling you. No? Okay, watch this here. The lowlands, the slaves outnumbered the whites. In the Piedmont, they compared about 1/3 of the total population. Listen to what the book is not telling you. It was too many of us over here. to be brought in here all by slave ship. What my account is, they knew that they had some folks out in Africa that didn't look like them. And when they saw these folks over here, they just called them Africans too and just kind of mixed them all in together. And we didn't ask any questions. I mean, shit, we was on our own land, farming and having a good time. We didn't know what kind of spells they was coming with that English language. Yeah, check it out. Spells, words, yeah. All right. Moving right along, right here on the same page. As you know, this is where we were. I had to come back. Man, I had to come back. Look at this. This is some meat right here. Check this out. All right. Let's just start right here. At Tidewater country, such as Middlesex, containing 1,500 freedmen. Now, what freedmen were slaves who had been freed. Okay, we can go with that. But containing 1,500 freedmen and 2,500 slaves. Okay, let's see what they compared it to. Had as much weight as the valley country of Frederick with, put that on down there, 15,000 freedmen and 4,000 slaves. Where all these damn people come from, man? Huh? Did somebody put some water on the fields and slaves pop up? Kind of what they want you to think. Boy, it's just asinine the shit that they put in our heads. As we move over here to page 31, check this out. This is kind of important. They was talking about getting rid of slavery and all that good stuff, but check this out though. It says, I'm gonna start right here in the orange. It says, no other means existed. A state whose population was 40% black may well have been quarreled before such a social revolution. The hell with all those other words. Focus on this. A state whose population was 40% black. How in the fuck is that possible? How in the hell is that possible? How's it possible? Listen to what they're not telling you. Start again. The coastal plain of South Carolina has a subtropical climate. Charleston, its only city, was founded in the late 17th century by West India planters. Maybe it's founded by West India planters. By West India planters seeking relief for crowded Barbados and St. Kitts. Again, where the fuck did these people come from? They took people who were already here and they moved them in other places. Now, right now, if you're paying attention to this, they're telling you that these folks out there in South Carolina, they stole them from Barbados. And check this out. Dane would tell your ass the truth. When they needed somebody over there in Africa, they took them from here and took their ass back to Africa. They sure as hell did. They sure did. Okay, now this one is really, really important. Now, when you go to certain areas, you have to take shots because your body's not used to those areas. All right. Now we're talking about in the Carolinas, where you got certain people who can handle certain things and certain ones couldn't. I tend to think that they done shot us up with a whole lot of stuff over the years to make us be as weak, if not weaker than they are. This is not a racist thing. I am not racist. I have to keep saying that shit because it could be misconstrued as racism. No, it's not. Watch this shit. It says, rice, the economic basis of the lower country, require intensive cultivation. Along such parts of the tidal river as permitted artificial flooding with fresh water. Now get this. This region were so unhealthy for white people that black labor, immune from malaria, was a necessity. And no part of the United States where slaves were so numerous. You see that? Now, at first, when I read that, I took that as, okay, what they did is they just threw slaves out there because of they didn't care about their lives. Yeah, they did. Slaves were fucking expensive. Slaves was expensive. You think they want to throw them out there? No, they were expensive. And they lived, and they didn't get malaria. What up, people? Listen to what the author is not telling you.